So we are seeing our honorable state ministers are making surprise visits to health centers and hospitals.
Impromptu visits. Unannounced.
Very impromptu. Yes. Midnight, 2 a.m. visits to the health centers and hospitals across the country. Welcome to the UMA podcast. My name is Dr. Kamara Ivan. I'm the Vice Chairperson of the UMA Central Branch. I'm also a medical doctor in Mulago Hospital and a resident in emergency medicine. I'm here with Dr. Sechanzi Henry. Say hello.
Hello.
Introduce yourself real quick.
Hello. For that matter, my name is Dr. Sechanzi Henry. I'm the chairperson CPD for the Uganda Medical Association. CPD is Continued Professional Development. I'm a medical doctor, and I'm super happy to be here.
Super happy to be here with you.
Yes.
So, today we are talking about a very recent ongoings in the country. So, currently, we are seeing a lot of probing into the civil service. And of particular interest to us is the probing into the healthcare service delivery. So, we are seeing our honorable state ministers are making surprise visits to health centers and hospitals.
Impromptu visits. Unannounced.
Very impromptu. Yes. Midnight, 2 a.m. visits to the health centers and hospitals across the country. As a medical doctor, what do you think about this? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing, in your opinion?
Well, so this is something that I don't know whether really it's the answer is just binary, good or bad. There are many aspects to everything, but overall, I think the spirit in which it's done is good. The spirit is good. However, some of the methods, I really have issues with them. I have issues really with some of the methods that are being used. Starting with the spirit, I definitely understand that most of this is being done to ensure that people are doing what they're supposed to do. Health workers are in hospitals when they're supposed to be there. Their accountabilities are adding up. Things are working out. Everybody's accountable to a system at least. So I feel like the spirit is good. And maybe it's also helping to overcome issues of ghost workers. I hope you've heard of issues where there are ghost workers. There's a time when we heard that there was a hospital, a facility somewhere where they were getting government funds for years. Healthcare workers are being paid. Money for drugs is being sent there. But actually that hospital is a ghost hospital. So I feel like, this new intervention that we've seen are sort of helping to iron out some of these. However, I'm not happy with the method. Last time we saw the Minister of Health going to Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital at 2 a.m. I mean, so if you're going to visit the hospital at 2 a.m., do you really expect the director to be there? Do you really expect the consultants to be there? Do you expect staff to be there?
Which ward did they go to at 2 a.m.? At 2 a.m., normally it's the emergency wards that are normally active at that time. The other wards are more of doing little routine care. They're just checking on those that need something. It's only the emergency wards that are supposed to be active at that time. Wonder which ward.
So I saw the ward they went to. It was a medical ward, and the ward was too crowded. And definitely, if you listen to some of the probes they make, you realize that there are some things which are common and they're going to cut across. The fact that health workers are not enough, the fact that people have to buy medicines, the fact that people have to pay for some of these diagnostics, be it the labs, be it the imaging, the fact that people have to pay for some of the medicines, those things are going to be constant. The fact that the wards are crowded, this is almost cutting across all the places.
Let me first talk about the crowding, because this is something that has bothered me for a long time. Now, I work in a government hospital.
So this is normal to you, right?
We are the ones under the microscope. So I work in a government hospital. And overcrowding is a problem that's been there for a very long time. It's one of our it's our daily life. Overcrowding
it's
is
a new
our
normal
daily
for you
reality.
guys. It's a normal thing.
Yes, and we've always looked for solutions to this. But one thing, the first thing to understand is these hospitals were created with a certain capacity.
Yeah.
That capacity has long been superseded. So now we are at a population, I don't know the exact figures, but our population has increased exponentially.
At least close to 50 million.
Yes, and the hospitals were originally designed for a much smaller population.
And
so there's that.
I'm sorry to cut you short, but I think Mulago, by the time Mulago was designed, Uganda had about 12 million people.
Imagine 12 million people, and now we are at coming to 50 million.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is that. The population has increased so much. So overcrowding is part of us now. And then there are other issues, of course. There's I saw one of the videos where they were talking about the scans.
Scans.
So they were talking about the scans, and I saw the Honorable Minister saying the patients should not pay for the scans. But let's talk about the realities on the ground. There is a different reality on the ground.
The reality is very different. And actually, if somebody just watches it on camera, somebody saying, hey, I've been told to pay scan, somebody could easily think maybe health workers are doing some dirty work there, maybe they're extorting. But actually, the reality on ground is sort of in line with what you're seeing, is that many facilities don't have these services readily available. Because for you to be able to do free scans for people, one, you need a functional machine, you need qualified staff. At some point, there are some supplies which will be used here and there. For instance, you're going to do an ultrasound scan, you need KY jelly, you need tissue, you need, Are we sure all these things are provided free of charge?
Yes, so this is part of the issue. I saw people talking about paying for the scans. Now, the scans are paid for in all government hospitals. The scans are paid for, and it's an official arrangement by the hospital and the government. It's an official arrangement. They are paid for, however, that the payment you make is a subsidized payment.
Yes, it's not
the same it's not the same
private
payment you would make in a private facility. For example, a CT scan in Mulago, for, let's say, just a brain CT scan, you would pay 150,000 for it. In a private imaging facility or in a private hospital, the same exact scan, you'd pay 250,000 shillings.
You see, almost twice.
Yes, so that there's a subsidized fee you pay in government hospitals. And now the question is, why do we pay? Someone would ask, so why are we paying this subsidized fee? Because ideally it should be free. Why can't the government give it completely free? So as far as the government hospitals are concerned, they do not get enough to maintain this equipment.
Yeah.
So scans are done with equipment. That equipment has to be maintained, and the maintenance is another whole cost. We import these machines from Europe and other places.
They're sold in dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes, and even after buying them, when you bring them here, there's a maintenance cost. Where they are made, it's assumed that they'll never be in an environment where there's dust and heat. And then you bring it here, it's got to be in an environment where there's no dust, no heat. So now those are maintenance costs. You have to keep it dust free. You have to keep it in an AC, in an air conditioned environment. So there are lots of maintenance costs. And then there are things they use for the machines, like you said, gel. There are the actual radiographic materials.
Yeah, those things we have print. Yes.
So there's a lot of running costs that go into those machines, and that's why the hospitals made that arrangement with the government to say that, okay, we have these machines, the government has given us these machines, but maintaining them is a cost that the government cannot keep up with. So allow us to charge a small amount to the patient to maintain this running cost and keep this equipment running.
And actually, you gave a very good example of just ultrasound scan. However, the word scan is ambiguous. It could mean so many things. An MRI is a scan, and the cost of MRIs, I don't know if you would want to give people estimates. So you can find someone saying, hey, I've been told to pay 1 million for a scan, and somebody would think maybe they have been told to pay for an ultrasound scan, but maybe when they're meaning an MRI. So I feel like there's also a need to put some contextualization, some of the things. Somebody can actually be told to pay 60,000 for a scan, another person can be told to pay 1 million to a scan, and actually that money is real, it's right amount of money, depending on the modality that is going to be used.
There are the different types of scans.
CT scans are there, they're looking for different things. And yes, like you put it right, government is not providing all these because these are very expensive services. Like ideally, much as maybe currently we know we have free healthcare, free health services, and that's the thing that is out there, that healthcare is supposed to be free of charge, but it's not true in its entirety. Okay, much as yes, there's some aspects of healthcare that can be free of charge, some of the other aspects cannot be free of charge, given their nature and what it requires to provide some of these services.
And the same goes for the drugs and medications as well. That's another thing that they're talking about. Patients should not buy any medications. They should not be buying any drugs. Now, what happens in a government hospital? Like I've told you, I work in a government hospital. So on the ward, we normally make requisitions for drugs, medication, and that goes to the pharmacy department. So it's the pharmacy department that receives the requisitions and are responsible for getting this medication. But they're also limited by a budget, of course. So they get all these requisitions and they've got to work within the budget to bring the medications. So they end up prioritizing. So sometimes some medication is there, some medications are available, some are not available. And as a doctor, when I'm working on the ward and someone needs a medication, just humaneness prompts you to ask someone, to tell someone that this medication would be very good for you, but it's not available. If you are able to do so, you could do go and purchase it somewhere else, because this medication, from what I've seen, this medication would be the best option for you. And some people are willing to do that. So how far should we go with that? I don't. That's why I don't agree with this saying that no. When they tell people you should not buy any medication, when you're in a government hospital, you should not buy any medication. There should be. We need something a bit more comprehensive about that. Yes, you shouldn't buy medication that's available, but if it's not available, what then?
I mean, you raise a very, very good point. And from my experience, I noticed that, one, it's quite common that really you're going to prescribe for a patient medicines that are usually not available in a health facility for so many reasons. We understand that usually there is a bit of limitation when it comes to the budget that these pharmacists have to spend, or like even the requisition. And then you realize that most of the times government buys basic drugs. So for instance, if the government is going to buy antibiotics, they will not buy the most expensive. Or if they're going to buy those very expensive ones, they'll buy maybe not very many doses. And they'll make sure they have so many of these basic ones that are going to be required by most of the people. But you realize that a big number of them will not actually be bought because of the budget constraints. And I think that's one of the issues really that has to be thought about very well, is that before you crucify doctors or healthcare workers for asking you to buy the medicines, you have to contextualize all these, that most of the times some of the drugs are actually not available. But that aside, you realize that quite a number of times when they're doing these drug deliveries and the stocking, it's also not regular. It's I think they follow some patterns, in that maybe in a period of 3 months they could come once or twice to deliver new drugs, and there are places where even the patients will know that now there are drugs in the facility. So the moment the drugs are delivered, all patients are going to come in the following day to take up most of it. They'll take up the antimalarials, they take up the pain medicines, they'll take up the basic antibiotics. And you realize that so most of these medicines are going to last for like 1 month. But then, it's not at the moment these medicines are done, the others are going to be procured. So that means that a facility can actually go without medicines for another 2 months. How are they going to be handling the patients? So in such situation, patients have to keep buying so that they get a service. Otherwise, we've seen this happening quite a lot. But that aside, there are patients who have certain illnesses that really require very expensive drugs. Some of these autoimmune conditions, complicated conditions, which practically the government really can't provide those
medication
medicines.
is very, very expensive. By the way, some medications are very expensive. Actually, for instance, cancer treatment can leave you bankrupt. It can send you into debt. Families go into debt just getting cancer treatment. So that's another thing people may need to be aware of. Some treatment is very, very expensive.
Treatment aside and scans aside, laboratory, the things we need to make the diagnosis, the tests, some of these are really, really expensive, and practically the government can't provide all of them. Maybe the government can provide basic ones, malaria testing, CBC, liver renal, but then sometimes there are situations where you have to do some quite expensive tests. And most of these sometimes may not be available. Sometimes they can be available, but the reagents are missing. Sometimes the reagents can be there, but then maybe the expertise, the person to do that work, do that analysis is not there. So, and these are realities, really. These are realities. I just feel like people should factor them in as they are judging the healthcare workers.
The realities the realities are colliding. Anyway, then there's absenteeism. Absenteeism is another thing that's being tackled. Now, I want to add this. I have probably an unpopular opinion on absenteeism. Absenteeism obviously is wrong.
It's bad.
You should be on duty when you're supposed to be on duty. But this is a nuanced conversation. There are so many parts of this conversation that we've never really had as a country, by the way. So there's the issue, for instance, you work somewhere, and there are no sundries to use. There's no equipment to use. There's no medication to give the patient. Do you know what it feels like being on a ward at 2 a.m. and someone walks in pain, bleeding, and you have almost nothing to do for them? I mean, of course, you can do the examination, which is also very important. Your assessment as a doctor is very important, of course. You can do that. You can know what needs to be done. But then after doing all that and then having nothing to do next, it's a very bad feeling.
Definitely.
It's a very bad feeling. And when you're repeatedly exposed to that, you develop a certain apathy and a certain desire not to be in that place. A certain desire not to be present, or just a reluctance. Yes, I'm not excusing absenteeism, but I need us to one day talk about this. Being present and being helpless is a bad place to be. Definitely. It's a bad place to be, and many health workers are in that position every single day.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So one thing I hope can come out of this is a revival of the service delivery. I would love a revival of the service delivery.
Definitely.
Because I've been in that place where you are present and helpless, or present and not useful, and it's a bad place to be. Just for that reason alone, I would love a revival of the health service delivery. I would love to be present and useful, present and doing something meaningful.
Impactful.
Yes.
I mean, I totally agree with you, but there's this whole concept called systems thinking. Is that course we covered?
So what is systems thinking?
Yeah.
And how does it
So
relate?
yeah. So by system thinking, they mean that in an entity like a hospital, people, much as yes, they work as individual, but it's a system. Everybody complements another. Everybody works with another. It's not just about one issue, and maybe No, I'll give you an example. For instance, right now, with these campaigns going on and health facilities are being inspected, and these investigations going on, it might seem as if the issue is health workers not being there. But yet, it's actually just a small component. It's a small component.
Exactly.
As you want health workers to be there, make sure they have the equipment, make sure they are well motivated, make sure the system, it's about a system, not just about these individual entities. How is the monitoring done? How is the evaluation? Who is supervising who? How competent are the staff? It's a system, not just simple components. So what we're seeing on media right now, we're just seeing bits, very small components of a system, but by the time we see this, it means that actually the whole system probably has an issue.
The whole system has an issue.
Yeah, the whole system has an issue, because if I'm a doctor and I'm going to see a patient, the patient, I'll need to do some tests, I'll need to do some scans, I'm going to prescribe for them, I'll need to monitor them and see how the treatment affects them. So there has to be really something that can address all these, not just the health worker alone. Is the health worker present or not? So that is just a very small issue. Otherwise, we need to be sure that, yes, much as the health worker is there, they are competent, good. The lab person is there, they are competent, good. They have the equipment to use, they have the reagents to use, the people for the scans are there, good. They have the competency, they have the skills. The pharmacist is there, they are qualified, they are competent, they have the drugs to use. So it all works together to bring a good healthcare system. Otherwise, what you're seeing right now on media, and I don't blame most of our people because they also probably don't know, but so many things are not right. I can tell you that me personally, much as this, like I told you from the start, I like the spirit with which this is being done, but the method is really, really lacking. I feel like there's a better way this can be done, than just assembling the only doctor in the village, put him in front of the patients and you start questioning them. I mean, I don't find that appropriate. I feel like there's much a better way that these things can be done than just doing these public interrogations that could actually end up having some negative effects on healthcare workers.
Yes, I've been seeing the public admonishments of admonishing of people is it doesn't look good. It sort of rubs people the wrong way. Must they be publicly admonished? Isn't there a better way to do this? When you put people in front of the camera and you say, what's your name? Who are you? Show me your ID. Maybe there's a better way to do this.
And by the way, besides, I mean, a camera is really necessary. I don't know. Because, have you ever been in a place where you're really on a defensive? And someone is like in a defensive and you have to defend yourself.
By the way,
it's always difficult to come out of that.
To be putting, is this legal to have someone on camera as you're doing this?
I really don't think it is.
Don't they have any rights? It occurred to me, by the way. To me. Don't these people that they're being put on the camera, don't they have any rights to not be on camera? Yes, you may have a right to ask me who I am, to supervise me, to audit what I'm doing, but do I not have a right to say this is not supposed to be done in front of the entire world?
I mean, the rights are there, the politics is there. So with the current method, I feel like politically it's scoring. Yeah, politically, these are political marks. Because I can tell you, the Honorable Balaam and when Nameere, they are scoring. People have even started to make memes. Someone now, if you want to scare off someone, or maybe put someone to order, you could just mention the name Balaam somewhere, and somebody who was misbehaving will be put back to order.
So the political scoring,
the political,
high,
they're scoring politically.
we are running around. Yes, people are jumping into action, but will this action last?
Sustainability is quite difficult.
To be seen.
But then one person who loves to analyze things from first principles and maybe think things through mechanistically. Where is the problem? What is the source of the problem? Because yes, much as yes, we're seeing these interventions aiming at, providing some quick solutions and quick fixes, but if we think critically, and I call upon our audience out there to think critically, where does the problem come from? And I think the answer to that is answered by what we call the Abuja Declaration. I don't know if our viewers out there have heard about the Abuja Declaration, but Abuja, of course, I think is a city. Is it in Nigeria?
Yes.
I think it's in Nigeria. So the declaration was made by all the African, I think it was African Union. I don't know if it was the whole world, but at least I'll talk about the African countries. And it was put out that for any country to realize economic development and, their citizens to be well, they should appropriate at least 15% of the national budget to health. 15% of the national budget to health.
I don't know what percentage we are currently.
I think we are below 8%.
Okay.
So that means that we are just about 50%. And I feel like this answers all the questions. There's underfunding. If you're underfunded, you're going to have few staff, you're going to have limited equipment, you're going to lack some of the key medicines, you're going to lack some of the monitoring avenues that would be there, you're going to lack administratively. And what we are seeing right now are just complications of the problem. But the problem goes back to what is the funding, how much money of the national budget is appropriated to health. I feel like that's where the problem comes from.
Yeah, that's where the problem stems from. Now, this one's out of the box, but it has also been mentioned. So there's this scenario where someone lives, let's say, in Ginger, and then they are deployed in Fort Portal, and then they have to move, and it becomes difficult for them to uproot their life and go live in another district to offer the services. So what do you think about this? What could be a solution to this? Because it's something that is coming up in this discussion. Some people are saying, the way Health Service Commission and Public Service works is you could be living in Arua and then you're posted to Kawali. And then what do you do? What do you think? Just
so there's a lot to that. There's a lot to that. Recently I was coming from Soroti. We are organizing the Grand Doctors Conference. So I had to go to Soroti and see the preparations and all that. But on my way coming back, the lady who was seated next to me in the bus was coming from Moroto to come and meet her family in Seta. So we come having a conversation. I was asking her about her way of life, how does she live, how does she survive, and she has to travel all these. Because if someone is to travel from Moroto to Kampala, it takes them literally a whole day. And they're going to come tired, they're going to almost spend the following day sleeping. Then they have to spend another whole day going back. When they go back, they probably have to take another day tired. And I'm like, oh my God, something's just not right. So I feel like the issue of deploying people very far away from their places of origin is not very good. But then I understand that in medicine, really, we're trained to be very, very flexible. We should be able to adopt and adjust very difficult circumstances. So it's really not very common for a medic to just say that, hey, maybe I may not work in such a place because it's far away from my end. But I feel like something could be done to fix this.
Maybe in future, when people are applying for the jobs, they can put the preferred areas of work. Maybe it could solve that problem, because we are the way it works is they're just picking from a pool of qualified Ugandans. Okay, we have a pool of qualified Ugandan doctors, and the public service, what they're doing is they're picking these doctors and posting them all over the country. So why wouldn't they put a preferred? Why wouldn't they ask people to put preferred places of work so that they recruit based on that. And if they see a gap somewhere, then it can be, well, they can work around, they can get solutions to fill that gap rather than posting people where they do not want to live. Anyway, I don't know what's the actual real solution to that could be.
No.
But I do know that it's something that has been coming up, that's been mentioned in this in the whole public service and health service delivery. Yes.
Well, though on the other side, as if also there are some disadvantages to being deployed in your place of origin. The issue really of people working in their places of origin, it has some disadvantages, surely. I mean, I've had people comment. Yes, one, kings are not celebrated where they are born from. Have you heard of such a statement?
I've heard of that statement, but it doesn't. I don't see it working with medical doctors. I've seen where I come from, the medical doctors that come from there, they are celebrated. So I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that photo for working with doctors.
With doctors. But then something unfortunate happened about our minister. I don't know. You've been seeing these things of Honorable Nameere and Balaam moving places. So they happened to go to Masaka. But I come from Masaka. So Nameere was home. And guess what happened? It was quite unfortunate, but it's quite unfortunate, and it's quite unfortunate. She's the one person where the court actually came through. Yes.
That you're not celebrated where you come from.
Yes. But all in all, I feel like our health workers, we have very, very resilient health workers. They're doing great. I really want our public out there not to be swayed by what you're seeing on cameras. I don't want you to think that, all health workers are like that, and there's this image that is being cast out there as if people are stealing medicines, as if they are corrupt. I feel like, yes, much as they are bad characters, but not everybody is. And some of these things really need very, very well, they need people to think through them very fast. Things are not as they seem, simply because somebody has been put under the camera and they're being interrogated questions. And actually, sometimes people are giving very good responses, but the mere fact that someone is already on a defensive, the public is already biased, thinking that by the time they bring you and they're going to ask you questions, you've done something wrong, So I just feel like we really, really, really have to be very, very I don't know how to term it, but we have to consider really how we are approaching this situation. I feel like right now the way things are being handled is not the very best, and things can be done much better.
Yes. So we are wrapping this up. The current probes into the civil service and especially the healthcare service delivery, and the energy is good. We would all love to see much, much better health service delivery. It's the politics that we are worried about. Yes, but otherwise, we have to wrap this up. Thank you, Sechanzi.
Thank you very much also, Dr. Kamara.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.